are you? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm Garnet Brennan. My mob's from Camberwell, so up in Moree, Narrabri, up there.
Hi, I'm Garnet Brennan from the Camberwell mob.
The Camberwell language group. So it goes like Moree, Narrabri, but it pushes out Corindai way. Yeah. So Uncle Lee explained this to me. So in our language, even though it's Camberwell, there's no actually K in our language, so it's Gamilaroi is how you're meant to say it.
What are three things I really like about myself? My modesty for one. I really like how confident I am. I think that's one of my better traits. And I'll go with my good looks then.
Yourself.
I feel like I got a good personality, I'd say. I feel like I'm very approachable, which I really enjoy. And obviously my modesty is pretty good as well. Me personally, I think I'm quite approachable. I think I'm quite, I make everyone feel welcome, I really hope. Everyone gets a say, everyone's nice and polite. And yeah, I think I'm really approachable, hopefully.
What would I like to achieve in life? I want to be a role model for some people. I'm not sure who yet. Just trying to, once I die, kind of make a big influence and big footprint that I'll leave behind. How do I define a manhood? Probably someone that is a bit courageous, sticks up for themselves and other people especially. I think that is a hard skill to have, and hopefully I'll get that one day. And what makes a great Aboriginal role model is courage, being able to stand up if someone else is getting picked on, especially if they're Aboriginal. You got to stand up for that. You got to do the right thing. And also in a greater space, especially in society, you got to make sure you're representing Aboriginal people right. You don't want to give them a bad name or anything like that, because it's too easy to do that nowadays.
I think it's really important to lead from the front to set a good example. I think being approachable is extremely important. I feel like what's the phrase for it? Use honey more than vinegar, and that just basically means be kind and more than you are intimidating and rude and that type of stuff. I think.
What do you like about being Aboriginal?
Oh, I love the sense of culture, the sense of community. I think that's really something special. I love how, everyone's united, everyone's on the same page, and everyone looks out for each other, which I think is really important. I like that as a mob we are really close, and what I mean by that is that I could go and talk to another Aboriginal and it'd be like, I've known him forever, and they'd look after me and they'd treat me kindly and all the kind of things that is really, they're really welcoming. I'm not sure about other races, but I feel like Aboriginality, is it like there's a sense of we look after each other, a sense of community, which I really like. That's probably my favourite thing, yeah.
I honestly like how you can go in anywhere, and if you say Aboriginal, people look after you. Whether it's up home where Dad's from in Moree, or like in Melbourne right now, like they all look after me, which is good. I feel like a lot of that, like in other cultures, doesn't really exist as much. So I really like that about our culture here, and everyone's always looking out for each other.
Yellow.
Why?
Always has been. Got it on right now a little bit. Yeah.
What's your favourite colour and why?
My favourite colour is yellow. I don't know, it's just a bright colour, has been since I was a kid. Yeah.
What are some of your hobbies?
Love having a kick at the footy. What else do I do? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kick around the footy, play basketball, stuff like that.
So what's one thing in your life you're proud of achieving?
At the moment, I think going to this school is a pretty big achievement. It's just as cheesy as it sounds, a privilege, and I really enjoy it here. It'll give me opportunities in the future, and yeah, it'll just be good.
A superpower, what would it be and how would you use it?
I'd have the ability to read minds. I feel like that'd be pretty cool, and I just use it in social situations to make sure people are alright. If I'm getting looked at the wrong way or something, you can just tell straight away. That'd be helpful. Yeah.
One Indigenous issue that you're really passionate about?
I'm really passionate about just the term Abo. I really don't like it. It's not the fact. It's the fact. Oh, I don't know. Whatever he said. Yeah.
I'll just keep recording. I'll edit.
Okay. It's more of an issue that people don't realise is racist, because racist people will use racist stuff like that. That will never change. But it's the people that don't mean to use it racially, and then you go, hey, that's racist, and they go, no, it's not. It's kind of, it's just really frustrating. I feel like not many people know about it, and it's an issue that we could probably fix. Oh, that would get a lot of that they think we're quite stupid. I get a bit. So, and they're like, oh, you're quite smart. And I'm like, why wouldn't I be? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that smart, not as smart as you, AJ, but yeah, you get some of that a lot. Yeah. Just quickly, another one is that we all have to be wide nosed, super dark skin out of Alice Springs, Uluru up there. That's a big stereotype. Yeah, which is obviously not true because we come from all over Australia. So yeah.
Sent the email, I knew straight away. I hate how people think it's okay to say the word Abo. It's not. It's discriminative. People think it's just a shortened version of Aboriginal. It's not. It's actually got more meaning than that, and it's not okay. And for some reason, everyone thinks it's alright to say it. I'll have to pick them up on it, but they just won't care. Like stuff like that. Yeah, it's not okay.
I don't think that is the window to the church.
Probably.
If you could be an animal or a totem, what would you be and why? I'd be the black cockatoo, just because I really like it. You can fly and that kind of thing.
If you could write your life story, what would you call it and why?
I'd call it AJ's favourite. Yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, I just came to me. I'm not too sure how it came to me, but yeah.
Okay. Don't know how big of a seller it will be, but
I feel like it'd be quite popular.
Why?
I'd write my life story would be one step in front of the other, and it just kind of I hope it'd represent my life in the future. I was like, just keep going, keep breaking new barriers, stuff like that. Yeah, that was it. I'm gonna go Nelg son, and it's a bit of an inside family joke. If you're a superhero, what special power would you possess? And super speed.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I just feel like it'd be cool to run fast. I think I'd probably want super intelligence, if that's the thing, be ultra smart, just so I can work out different ways of fixing the earth, more renewable resources and that type of thing. And why is Camberwell Grammar School such a good place for Indigenous students? I reckon it's because everywhere you look there's a lot of recognition. There's what we did, a painting with Rob, young probably about 3-4 years ago, still hanging around in the atrium over there. There's an Indigenous flag just down there near the sports centre, and I think like just little subtle things like that, when I look up, it just like makes me smile because I feel like we get recognised, and it's not exactly obvious, but it's like if you look around you'll find it, and I like that thing. And there's also in that thinking garden there's a few Indigenous plants in there too, so.
You've been doing AJ's mentoring program for the last 2 years.
I have.
What do you think about it?
With AJ, he's always like got plans, so he'll email you in advance. I'm not the best at always reading the emails, but I know like there always will be there. What have we done? We've done the boomerang thing, the first one where we made them. We'll be making a massive like video, kind of like explaining different things. My topics changed the date, so I'll be delving into that. We went to out in Ringwood somewhere to do that Aboriginal thing that one time. We made boomerangs. It's just like it's always, you never come in like, oh, what are we going to do today, or nothing type thing. It's always like planned, and it's all pretty good, yeah.
So you're going to become a prefect next year. How is that going to change how you do things?
I'd hope that with a badge or not, I'd still act the same. Pretty responsible, but you know, I got a lot of kids looking up to me now because I'm in charge of junior and middle school. So, you know, just be a friendly face, smile, and show them what to do, show them what's right, and yeah.
So, do you hold a portfolio? What is it?
Yeah, so I've got to organise all their junior and middle school athletics days, a couple of their presentations. I go to a lot of their assemblies and just say, you know, this is what's going on. Largely control how they transition from year 8 to year 9, so into the senior school aspect. So yeah, it's a bit of a big role, but hopefully I'm up for it.
How do you define racism?
Project racism is an act of prejudice towards people based on the colour of their skin or their religion or something like that, I think.
What makes a person racist?
When you act like you're better than someone based on the colour of their skin, or where they come from, or how they have their beliefs or something like that. It's, yeah.
How do you find Aboriginality?
The Aboriginality is just how would I define it? Aboriginality is a sense of who I am. It's a big part of who I am and how I act, and yeah.
But what are some issues you think young Aboriginal people face today?
I think the notion that racism is dead's purely not true. I think a lot of people, you know, not just white people, but people in general say, oh, well, it's not as bad as it was. And while that's true, and I'm very thankful that I'm growing up in this type of generation, I'm like, the stories Nen and Pop tell me, I think it's really important that racism still happens. Whether it be in the schoolyard, on the footy field, something like that, like it's still a big part. Yeah.
Do you have an Aboriginal hero?
Well, obviously, my dad's a pretty big one. My dad, I'm extremely admire what he's done throughout his life. I think that's pretty important. Also comes to mind someone like Adam Goodes, Michael Long. I know that's like what they did on the footy field's amazing, but especially Adam Goodes, what he did off it and how he had to just take on what felt like the whole world at that point is pretty remarkable.
What aspects of culture has been lost in your family?
Gee, that's a big question. Not sure how to answer that one. Well, obviously, because obviously my mob's from Moree, Narrabri up there. So, you know, me living in Melbourne, I kind of lose that part, but I still go see everyone and do all that type of stuff at Christmas, so once a year. So while we don't do it as regularly, we did often get up like once a year for a couple of days, which is good.
What aspects of culture does your family still practice or celebrate?
You know, I still go up. Nan and Pop are still there. I went for my work experience. I went driving with Uncle Les up in the country, and it was just me and a close family friend, and it was pretty amazing. And so we still get up and do all that type of stuff. But yeah,
You had kids. What aspects of culture do you want to make sure they get?
oh, a sense of community, 100%. Yeah, I want them to be involved. I want them to, you know, run around, have fun with white kids, but like I think it's important with Indigenous kids as well. Like, so you see both aspects. We all act different. I feel like there's sometimes it's two sets of Garnets.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Where would you encourage people to find out more about culture?
I ask my nan. She knows a lot. She's an elder, and so is a lot of my uncles and that too. So,
What's your favourite football team?
Western Bulldogs.
Why?
Yeah. So we came from New South Wales down, and they were the first team on. I think they won. Off memory, it would have been. I was young, 2 or 3, and I think Bulldogs won against Essendon. And I'll go for that team. And ever since then, yeah, which is awesome because Jamar is going. That's why I really want to meet him.
Who's your favourite footballer?
Off the top of my head, be Tim English at the moment. I love him. He's a bit of a lanky bloke like myself, so love to see them get up. Hopefully Jamara next year would be good. Buddy Franklin's always been an idol.
Do you think racism's getting better or worse?
I think it's better than it was back in like Nan and Pop's days, but the issue is that it still exists. Where I think there's a myth going around that's very prevalent, and it's racism like doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, well, you know, some of my experiences, it does. So, you know, I don't think it'll ever go away too. I think as long as it just keeps getting the margin of people that do it keeps getting smaller and smaller, I think that's important.
If I got you to stand in front of your whole school and go, look, you've got 5 minutes to explain what it's like to be an Aboriginal person in 2020, what would you talk about?
I think obviously big factors, the what's it called? We were talking about it before in class. The health gap. You know, the one we talk about? Yeah. The health gaps, I think, is a pretty big one. I think employment's a pretty big one. I think education's a pretty big one. I'd also talk about community, what it means to be Aboriginal. I think, like, you know, because I don't want to go on about issues all the time. But, yeah.
What would you like to see changed in Indigenous affairs?
I want to see the health gap reduce, ideally. I want to see higher employment. I think it's definitely better now, but there was a time where you'd look up in the sky and be like, see all the skyscrapers in Melbourne and stuff, and, you know, no Indigenous person worked there, where I think we're very lucky now to have a couple more. But you can always do better, and I think we keep striving for a better future for everyone, I think, especially Indigenous people.
What's your plans after year 12?
Go to university. Hopefully AJ gives me a little part-time. I'd come back to school. Like, you know what Ash used to do?
Yeah.
I'd love to do that, just like once a term or whatever. I'd do it for free too, by the way, AJ. I'm not trying to take money. But, you know, come and just help out would be really cool.
Yeah, cool.
While I'm studying.
So what do you want to study at uni?
At the moment, something like business, I think. Yeah. Maybe law, we'll see. But leaning more towards commerce, business, that type of stuff.
Thing about Garnet that people don't know about you?
I actually quite enjoy Harry Styles' music, which is a bit of a weird one, but I like it. So there you go.
What motto do you live by?
Strive to be better, I think. You can always improve is a great one. Yeah.
I want to thank you for being part of the interviews, and always a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you very much.
Thanks, AJ.